Jai Hind. Myself, Dr. Amita Asthana from Akgec Engineering College, Ghaziabad. I am working in EC department as associate professor in the college. Now in this video lecture, we are going to discuss some important university questions which can come in your final examinations. These questions are important also, they are conceptual as well as they are much expected to come in your final exams. So coming to the first question, like it has been asked from the first unit that differentiate between avalanche and Zener breakdown. So here how to answer this question, it is important. So you have to compare these two breakdowns. So we need to sketch a line between the two, and then one side we will write avalanche breakdown and another side we are going to write as Zener breakdown. This is the perfect way to differentiate or distinguish between these two terms, and we will answer this question as in avalanche breakdown. It occurs in the lightly doped diode, and Zener breakdown for the heavily doped diode. As we can see, the answer is given in a very good way. Now the technology involved in both these two breakdowns, that's the avalanche breakdowns is occurring when the minority charge carriers are in reverse bias, and the phenomena is impact ionization. Secondly, when the Zener breakdown happens, it happens in the reverse bias obviously, and due to high electric field intensity. So we have compared the technology difference between the two. Now the voltage, it occurs above 8 volt, and whereas the Zener breakdown occurs between 5 to 8 volts. So we are differentiating these two terms in terms of like the voltage, at which voltage these breakdowns are happening. Now fourth one is the avalanche breakdown increase with increase in temperature. So we are distinguish between the temperature effects of these two technology, and Zener breakdown decreases with the increase in temperature. So we have answered the question in a way that you can get full marks for these answering this question in the same way if you are answering. Now coming to the next point, these are all 2 marks questions. You can answer like this. So now the question 2 is explain how FET can be used as voltage variable resistor. So you have to answer it accurately. The FET can be used, the field effect transistors, that means it can be used as voltage variable resistors for in ohmic region, right? In ohmic region, in the FET drain characteristics. So we will show the ohmic region for the FET in its output characteristics, right? So we will sketch this graph, clearly mention this is the voltage VDS on the x-axis, and on the y-axis there is a drain current. Now this particular region where these are the pinch off points, and we have joined the pinch off points and the locus of the pinch off point. Here the left side of the locus we can represent the ohmic region. Now we have shown that the FET is working as VVR in the ohmic region also. Now we will add some few points also, that as the VGS is changing, diffusion resistance can be obtained given by the relation. Now we are completing our answer for the, since it is a voltage variable resistance, so we will show how the resistance is changing with respect to the gate voltage VGS, right, where VP is the pinch off voltage. So this is the perfect way to answer for the FET to work as voltage variable resistor. Now the third question is from third unit. So this is saying they explain the terms CMRR, common mode rejection ratio, and the second terms is the slew rate of the op amp, right? So common mode rejection ratio is the ability of op-amp to reject the noise, right? And that we will give now the definition, that common mode rejection ratio CMRR is equal to differential voltage gain upon common mode gain, common mode voltage gain. That means AD upon AC, right? We will mention and answer the question as ratio of the AD upon AC, right? Now we will also give answer that decibels, if we are representing this CMRR in decibels, then we will write CMRR decibels is 20 log 80 upon AC base 10, right? Now slew rate. Slew rate is defined as the maximum rate of change of output as time. That means the dVo upon dt is one parameter. The maximum value of dVo upon dt is defined as the slew rate of the op-amp, and then we will answer the unit of this slew rate, volts per microseconds, right? So in this way we will explain both the terms, the CMRR, and then we will explain the term and slew rate, right? So we have to answer this question very carefully. Give your answer in such a way that it completes the topic and the question, right? Now, the next question is from Unit 4 from Digital Electronics, and they are saying to define the min terms and the max terms. We know the min terms are nothing but, you know, min terms we have to define, and then max terms we have to define. Min terms is sum of product SOP, right? We have already studied in so many previous lectures, and the max terms are product of sum. So how we can define that? Give an example. Always give, it is better to give an example for SOP and POS. Like here we have defined y is equal to a bar b bar plus a bar b plus ab bar plus ab. Now we have taken two variables a and b, and all the min terms have been shown for this. Okay, try to show all the min terms, but these are the min terms. This is like a bar, all the combinations, 4 combinations for the two variable we have shown in the min term, right? Similarly, we want to specify the max terms. Max terms are used as the sum terms. Okay, if you are given example, like we have taken a 3 variable expression and we have given one example of POS, product of sum. So this is how we can explain the min terms and the max terms. You can also write like the SOP can be filled in the K map with ones, and the max terms are filled in the K map with zeros, right? So we can answer this question like this only. Okay. Now coming to the next question, one expression is given. Okay, that is y is equal to right. This expression has been given. Now they are asking it to convert in the canonical form. Okay, so canonical form is all the terms. How many variables we can see in this expression? A we can see, B we can see, and C we can see. No other variable is present in the expression. So this term is containing only A variable and B variable. This term is containing B variable and C variable. This term is containing C variable and A variable. Now we have to make this expression in such a way that this term can include all the variables in each term. Each term is including all the variables. That would be the canonical form, right? So here what we can do is this A, B bar can be multiplied by 1, it won't change. There would be no effect of multiplying anything by 1. So that we can include, and we will C plus C bar. We will C variable is not present in AB bar. So what we can do is we can multiply it by C plus C bar. Okay. So similarly, we can multiply this BC term as A plus A bar, and we can multiply this A bar C as B plus B bar. So now all the terms will have all the 3 variables. Okay. Now what we have done is we have represented all the terms with all the variables. Will all 3 variables we have included in each and every term, and the final expression will come like this. If you can note down, this is a sum of product type of expression, right? So now next question is, this is a 2-mark question, and they are asking explain radar. Now radar is a very vast topic, how to explain for only 2 marks, and then they are saying just write 2 applications of radar. Okay. Now what things need to be told in this particular answer? So you have to answer it in a very crisp manner, and all the technical terms you can include, like radar full form you can define, that at first year level you can define the full form. The radar stands for radio detection and ranging. Okay, this is radar. You will tell the full form of the radar, and then it is a detection system that is used radio waves to determine distance. Now the technology is it is an eco-based system, right? You can write this is an eco-based system. Okay. So determine distance, angle and radial velocity of objects in its range. Because it is ranging, so it determines all the objects in its range. So 1 mark you will be given for writing the full form and the technology and what it does. Now another next part is write down 2 applications of radar. Just write down. All know the applications of radar nowadays. It's a common: defense and air navigation, air traffic control in case of bad weather, right? So similarly, you have to answer for 2 marks. There are 2 questions in this particular section. First is define radar, and then they are asking the 2 application of the radar. So you have to answer in this particular manner, right? Coming to the next question. Now they are saying draw the block diagram of satellite communication. Okay. So everybody knows about the we have already studied the satellite communication block diagram. So what we do, we will just draw the block diagram and some points we will highlight. Okay. So we will draw the block diagram first. So block diagram is having, see, from user to terrestrial system to the earth station. Okay. Earth station is sending signals to the satellite, and which frequency their system is sending the signals to the satellite, that is uplink frequency. The frequency at which the earth station is sending signals to the satellite is uplink frequency, right? Now this is the one part, transmitter side of the radar. Now we will make the receiver side of the radar. So it is like this. So here the downlink frequency, the satellite is sending some signals at some frequency. So you can also mention that these frequencies are in the range of gigahertz. Okay. So now these signals are from satellite to the earth station, then terrestrial system, and then the information is with the user, right? So some points are also written here. Satellite communication is the method of transporting the information from one place to another using a communication satellite. Okay. The frequency at which the radar is operating is in the range of gigahertz. So here we can understand how to answer the 2-mark question in the examination. It should not be that you are writing so much information for a 2-mark question, so that all the questions which are of 7 marks and you are not getting time to manage those questions within the time limit, because the time is limited 3 hours time and you have to answer very smartly. These questions are very, very important in view of the university examination. Okay, thank you.